Well, like I said in my last video, which you can look right up here if you want to, season's over for me. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the green and what it's going to need before going to bed. And I also want to show you kind of where it is right now and how far it has to go. So let's go ahead and do that.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
See that? My dog has decided that peeing on this is a good idea, so I'm not really sure how to stop that. Probably next year there'll be enough water going down on it to take care of that, but yeah, that's going to be a new one. Okay, so let me walk you through what you're seeing out here just so you have an idea of everything that's going on. So as the grass came in and I was mowing it, I was finding a lot of places where I was just hitting uneven spots and the bed knife was scraping through. So I started to get the level lawn rake out and just kind of going over the tops of those and smoothing them out. And so that resulted in some things like this right here. So all of this was just uneven areas that got scalped and then smoothed, and the turf has yet to grow back through, which I don't really know that it will this year. You can see it, but it's not gonna get good coverage. So this was literally just scalped down. It hit the bed knife here, and then as soon as it kind of ground down, stopped, and then I would come in and try to cut it out as much as I possibly could. But all of these little spots are where the bed knife is dragging because of unevenness. So for the most part, the grass came in pretty well, but it does need a bit more. It has a ways to go before it's really filled in. Now, it needs a mow right now, and I've been cutting it at 1/4 inch. So, you know, you can see some kind of longer stuff in here. I guess that probably doesn't look very long to a lot of people. But it is going to take a little bit more. I kind of was skipping days mowing just for the last little bit because it's been so cold and the frost, and the grass is already kind of fading out and starting to go dormant. You can see there's sort of a brown all through around the edges. It's just starting to change the overall look. So I think we're getting to the point now that it's just getting ready to go to bed, and all I've been trying to decide is if I'm going to top dress this with some peat one more time and have that be kind of its final work for the season, or if I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I'm going to do just a quick mow on this, and then we'll take a look at it again. So you can see even with the thin spots, it's rolling pretty well. It's firm, especially when I let it dry out like this. I'm actually going to water it right now for 20 or 30 minutes with a manual sprinkler since I have the irrigation turned off already. Kind of let it soak in, and then do a final fertilizer treatment, which will be the same as what I did the other day as well, hitting it with the In Charge and the Seek just to put it to bed, give it a little bit of something. You know, the big thing, major difference here, obviously, this is all sand base. It has a little bit of peat moss in it, so it doesn't really have a whole lot to hold the nutrients up. The lawn itself behind me, that's all natural. That's topsoil. That's more of a clay loam, pretty high CEC soil. So that'll hold and stay, and I can just sort of feed it as it looks like it needs to be fed. This one is just a totally different animal. So I'm gonna do my best to keep this on a feeding schedule, and then If it ever looks a little peaked, just give it a little bit more, give it a little bit more. So we'll get into the program for how this looks for this sand base, and I'll probably actually send off a soil test here at the end of the season, just to get an idea of what this is looking like since going into the ground, and then we could talk about how that's going to look for the next year. So I'm going to go ahead and kick the sprinkler on, water this thing for a little bit, and then do the application on it. I think one of the best things about having this is it's really like a zen area. It's sort of it's a different feel than the rest of the lawn. The kids and I have been out here pretty much every night since I took the fence down. They're putting on it. During the day when I'm making phone calls, I can come out here, putt on it. It's got like this just nice peaceful thing that's totally different than the rest of the lawn. I feel like when I'm walking around up through the lawn, I'm always looking at the flower beds that need to be weeded. I got to spray something, I have to do whatever. I come out here and I keep my putter nearby and I just go around the green, putting on the brakes, sometimes just working on the little fundamentals on the inside. And it's interesting. It's just a totally different feel. Now, that being said, having this green here and using it has already improved my golf game, which is always a good thing. But I'm really looking forward to this thing being pristine, totally smooth, and it is going to take a lot of work. There's a really, really long way to go on this. I want to give you a little better idea of what I was talking about earlier with how this is. So you can really see the open and bare spots through here, the stuff that's been shaved off, and the different colors are sort of the depth and the fill of what's come out of there. So this whole knoll right here is totally screwed up. I made that fairly flat on the top, and it's got a steep undulation there and then down into this little bowl over here. So this was just too sharp of an angle for the mower and for the bed knife. So as the roller comes over the top of it, the bed knife just slices right into that hillside. So I'm having to sort of gradually pull that down. And then this whole side here really settled in. So there's gravel all along this bottom for drainage, and it was packed down with the sand, but it's definitely settled in. So there's this ridge that's kind of like this, and it just catches on both sides. So that side I've been slowly filling up about from 3 feet from the rock wall, like the rock wall in all the way across there and over towards that other side. This is another little spot right there, that same kind of thing where it's just a little bit high, and so the mower's just sort of catching it. So I just kind of scraped that and scraped it. And then over here, same thing. It's like there's a little hill, which you can't really tell, kind of comes up this side. And so as I come around the corner with the mower, it would just sort of catch it, and that's what all of those are. So that still all has to grow in. That's going to take a little while next spring. I'm not going to get there this year. And the grass is sort of changing now. It had sort of that initial sort of longer, thicker leaf blade, like what you see down here is how it was coming up to begin with. And as it's been cut and cut, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and really filling into this like super tight textured bent grass the way you would expect to see it. So this is going to take some time, and I still don't know if I'm going to get this little part finished off this year. That's sort of the goal, but I don't know if the weather's going to really cooperate with me. I've got to get a dump truck in here and do a bunch over on that side. So maybe I'll get to complete that, maybe not. I figure maybe I should explain that landscape part just a little bit more. This side right behind me, where the grass is growing, that'll actually have a stone edge all the way up to tie into the staircase. And all of that'll be level. That's why those sprinklers are up, because they're actually going to get moved a little bit. All of that where the Can-Am's sitting right now, that's actually going to be grass and then a gravel strip like the rest of the driveway. So this just has not yet been completed. And it's just, things are busy right now because winter is coming around and it's harder to get trucks in here and get material over. So that's sort of the last thing to be done here, and then it'll have just this nice shape. You know, you won't be able to have a ball roll off the green really anywhere on this side, and then we'll have a nice little chipping and pitching area just here, kind of where the tire, like the front end of the machine is, onto the green that way. it sort of led to a whole bunch of different stuff about how to design this for next year and what's going to be different. I've always had this blank space just down there I didn't know what to do with. There's actually rock stairs that go down this edge. So I gotta go find myself a big net. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a flat spot right there so we have a driving area, and that whole thing is actually totally netted in. So that'll be a project for next year that I'm pretty excited about. Gonna see if I can hunt around for some deals on something like that, because why not? Like I said, the kids are getting into it. When people come over, we can just walk around, cocktail in hand, putt around the green, and then go up top and hang out. Well, looks like I gotta go fix something up there too. God damn it. Yeah, I must have slept through some serious wind last night.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again?
It's entirely possible that is that for the year. Like, probably, maybe, I don't know. I guess depending on the storms that are coming our way, we'll see if I'm actually going to end up doing any more watering this year, if that's going to be it for out here. But I'm going to go ahead and kick the thing back on, push that food down, and sit here and get ready for some very cold weather. Something I can tell you about this for sure. I am not going to wrestle with this green next year. This is basically how it's going to come. As soon as the snow's off it and there's any sign of life, it's going to get fed, overseeded, and top dressed right out of the gate. I'm just going to come out here and get the whole thing brushed in and smoothed, and use some of the seed that I have left over. I still have about 2 pounds of it left, and I'm just going to come in and do that right out of the gate. So hopefully by mid-May or maybe June 1st at the latest, I think this thing will be pristine. That's the goal. So it takes a little while to establish these, and that's just part of it. That's part of turf life right there, I suppose. You just kind of have to let it grow and do its thing and just tend to it, and most of all, have fun with it. That's really the most important part. So final feeding, probably the final look. There you go. New project, new fun, new horizons. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.